Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
When we go into utilities, we have all the batch groups, all the batch jobs. Batch groups is, we can go ahead and create a batch group with multiple batch jobs included in it. Whereas batch viewer will be showcasing us all the batch jobs which are there for each particular table. This one is the landing table, staging table for that. This is the mapping. This is the stage process where we can see the entire batch jobs. This is stage job automatch, merge automatch. Over here, all these are the batch jobs. In these batch jobs, what are the batch jobs which we utilize in regular way? First is stage, second is automatch merge, third is automatch merge, then it is load match. These are the parts which we utilize in regular basis. This is why I stated match as well as automatch merge and automatch merge also. Because if you want to have a different or in pieces like first, I just want to go ahead and run a match. I can utilize match and then I can run automatch. And if I want to go ahead and run both together, then I can just go ahead and run automatch merge. Load job is used to push the data from staging to base object. That is all the jobs which we utilize. Initial index for smart search data. This is utilized when we enable a smart search in our application plus any attribute if we have gone ahead and create searchable. When we will be going into provisioning tool, I will be showcasing that how to create a searchable attribute. If we have enabled it, then we go ahead and run this job for that particular table. Else, we will see some issues while we go ahead and do manipulation of data in the UI. In provisioning tool, the first thing is Smart Search. Smart Search is something which we have to enable in the process server. If we go over here, you can see the search is enabled. This search is basically the Smart Search. When we are enabling this part, what it means is that you can utilize the particular functionality which has been given by Informatica for AP. iSearch. We use API search queries and also it creates an index for faster processing. That is the basic reason why we create a smart search or a searchable object. The second thing is for creating the index and to create a searchable object. We do not create any searchable object over here. In Hub Console, we create the searchable object from provisioning tool. That's another module which we will be going through after Hub Console completion. In that, there is a checkbox which we have to check for that particular attribute as searchable. If we have enabled that, then we have to make sure that for that particular table or that particular business entity, and the business entity will be created from base object. That particular base object, which means that table, we should have created the index by the job. If we have not created the index, then Informatica will act up and will showcase you multiple errors while you go ahead and process any data. Then there is a process server. It gives us the information about what all settings are enabled, what all things are other. Which server we are using? We are using the local host. What is the port? If we are utilizing the clean server or not. If this cleans server is not utilized, then your match merge, your cleans function will not work. What is the cleans mode? Is it online only, batch only, or online or batch both? Online means only for the APIs or the UI, or is it all the cleans functions? And the match is also being utilized for batch load as well. We always select online and batch match server batch mode. Is it offline? If it's a batch is enabled or not. The smart search is enabled or not. And HTTPS is enabled or not. Audit. What do you mean by audit? Audit means what particular data is changed, who changed it, and when it was changed. In batch form, we will go ahead and do audit configuration on stage table. Then we will be creating the stage table. But for AP, I calls for UI for message queues, how we can go ahead and enable. We have to enable from over here. From this particular source system, any API calls are being there. What all API calls are there what we have to audit, we can go ahead and update over here. According to systems. For message queues, if you want to go ahead and enable the audit, we can go ahead and enable the audit from over here. But for batch, we always enable in stage. Then the safety manager. If any OAuth or any safety calls we need to create, we always go ahead and configure this. This is configured once in the lifetime and it's been configured by admin people, which will be the particular visual which will be generated for that. If I go ahead, we'll refresh the objects. We'll see what is the particular objects which are being. Let's say for this one, we have to go ahead and enable. We have to enable the system for this particular OAuth. All these things will be generated once we have a plugin which has been installed. That plugin goes ahead and we can go ahead and generate the APIs for a specific OAuth. You can see. We have to go ahead and select everything for which particular table we want to generate. We have to generate specific API for these things. Let's say we'll just go ahead and generate one party. All those APIs will be generated and will get a URL for that particular part. We'll go ahead and create this. We can see what else we showcase. Anything if that particular table we have to go ahead and do. We'll see all the XML file for that particular table. This link is being utilized by API to send the data in or to get the data accordingly. That is how it is utilized. Then there is a user object registry, which is there for creating different user exits, which are custom codes which are written in Java. And these are normally not utilized, or I would say normally people don't go with that because out of the box functionalities are enough for completing our task. But if there is a need that they need to go ahead and create it, then a Java person is required in the team who will write all these Java codes, and then you will be deploying the jar files over here, which will be created by user. There are two types of custom codes which are written in Informatica. One is user object registries. Second is external calls. External calls are the part where the external validation when the cleans function are not enough when there is a limitation reached. Then an external call is being written, which is also written in Java. And that particular external call is deployed in provisioning tool. Sorry, that is being configured in provisioning tool but deployed on application server. And our application server is JBoss. It might be at the end of your, it might be also WebLogic. These are the two popular application server where the application is hosted or installed. We are good with major high-level information about each and every section. That's what each will be giving us. Now we just went ahead with what all things are there and what each configuration is utilized. In yesterday, I stated it that when we go ahead and do start with Informatica, we first do analysis. That is you have done. Accordingly, you are stating that you have got 3 source system and you got to know that there are duplicates as well. And from that you form a model which you will be creating over here. all those 3 major points are being covered in your query. Now the second part which I thought, or I would say which would be needed, would be cleans function and business rules which will clean up your data. That is optional because sometimes the data is properly cleaned up already. Your task comes up to match and merge. But I have known that these data is being duplicate. Now in my MDM, my base object should have the first name and the last name should be coming from X source system. My email ID should come from a Z source system and my phone number and my address should be coming from a Z source or Y source system. There are 3 source systems X, Y, Z. This is how I need to go ahead and put the trust, or say the survivorship of those values on that particular base object should be done accordingly. Over here, we have trust values. According to the system, if I want to go ahead and push the value on the base object, it will be utilizing the trust. I trust this X source system to give me the correct name. I am pretty much sure that this Y source system will give me the correct phone number and the address. In the Z source system, I am confident that it will give me email address. But what happens if my Z source system, which was giving me the email, is not supplying me the information? Then I would be having an alternate for that. If my Y should be trusted later on or X should be trusted. Accordingly, we go ahead and enable the trust on those attributes. CIMEX ORS is a default ORS database which is given by Informatica. When we install it in the SQL statements, or when they will say all these things are being done, what happens is the schema. I have all these things because I have created these things. First thing would be your model will be created. In that model, let's say you have a party table which will be having all these attributes. All these attributes will be created. Then accordingly going ahead and applying if I need a trust on this particular thing or I don't need any trust to be applied. We have created even the tables we have created. We will be creating these things. We will be getting to know what all system columns are. What you guys will be going ahead and creating. Because I will be just creating a simple party object or something like that. I will be deleting all these things still over here. Then I will be showcasing you how to create them. Because in RBO class, RBO hierarchy and RBO relationship type. These are created if we enable hierarchy. If you go over here and you don't have these 3 tables, then it will ask you that do you want to create these or not. These 3 tables are created automatically by the system when we enable hierarchy. All these other tables are created by me while explaining multiple things. I will be showcasing you one of each thing. That one I will be creating main table. One I will be creating a child table which is, let's say over here was address. Then the lookup tables, and also we need to see how dependent lookup works. Like if I select the country, that only those states should be enabled or those states should be seen which are there. I should not see any other state. Correct. Let's say, if you go ahead and select Punjab, then you should only see Punjab cities. If you select Maharashtra, then you should only see Maharashtra cities. In that same way, if I select India, I should only see Indian state. Those kind of dependent lookups. How we go ahead and create that? We will be seeing. For that, I will be creating two lookup tables as well. From my side, these were the things for today's part. This is a model which you guys will be creating. It's a basic, simple party model with one address, contact details and contact, which would be a point of contact or any sibling or other like that kind of a contact person. This would be the something which you guys will be creating. Over here, all these orange boxes are something which is reference tables. And all these dark circles with this blue lines are relationship with main tables. When we say address, we will be having the country and state. If you want, I can go ahead and create that as well over here. I forgot that part. We will be creating a reference to reference lookup as well. I will just go ahead and change the color for this. This would be our dependent lookup part. This would be our model. And what all attributes will be there? These will be our attributes. These all RRs will be required attributes which we will be utilizing with provisioning tool. In Hub Console, what we have to do? We have to create these base objects, these lookup tables, plus match and merge, which we will be doing, and a cleans function. For registration ID, I can go ahead and write the cleans function for this one. These are certain number of things which we will be going ahead and we will be creating. Second thing comes in for hierarchy. For hierarchy, I will be going ahead and creating a simple hierarchy that you guys will be knowing what all steps needs to be taken for creating a hierarchy. If you want, you can replicate the same. That you will be confident enough that whatever we are going through is we are understanding. This is something which we will be getting to know how this goes ahead and runs. In a process or a concept where you go in Informatica from any version to any version, later on they will go ahead and do. This is the base concept. Just take it as concept. You can make it a static chart of it that this is the functionality. If this is not doing like this, then there is an issue with your configuration. It's a basic concept, but we will be seeing these things in practical sense as well. Once we will be going ahead and pushing the data link. If you guys want, you will be seeing these particular sections in your current project as well, where you are working. If there is any data which is getting updated, how that is manipulated in backend. How this hub state indicator works. These kind of things will be seen. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.